This one and the following video are continuations of my review of Mickey Mouse Works, because I don't see anyone talk about those cartoons and I want to rectify that. Now, as is tradition on this channel, I'm going to talk about what I consider to be the worst. What up, snitches? I'm the Animaniac, and these are the top 7 worst Mickey Mouse cartoons of this era. To clarify what I'm talking about, this and the following list will include cartoons from both Mickey Mouse Works and House of Mouse, and what won't be considered for the list are the cartoons that are 90 seconds long. No Donald's Dynamite, no Maestro Mini, no Pluto Gets the Paper, no Goofy's Extreme Sports, no Mickey to the Rescue, and no Von Drake's House of Genius. Now, let's begin. Daisy Bothers Minnie, 1999. Before I go any further, some of the later entries in this countdown will feature Daisy, and this won't be the last time Minnie will be shown to be foolish, unfortunately. On one night, Minnie's quiet evening is disturbed by Daisy coming over to use her bathtub because she used up all the hot water at her place. During her visit, she ends up annoying Minnie. Daisy in these cartoons is more stupid and annoying than funny and endearing. And here, she, and by extension the cartoon, whips out tons of reasons like, I'm the guest and that's what friends are for, intending to wave off her behavior. Suddenly, I'm in the mood for roast duck. Even more so when the lion chased after Minnie. There will be times where she'll get worse later on. How to Be a Spy, 1999. The how-to cartoons starring Goofy were consistently okay during this run. This one proves to be a standout, for the wrong reasons, clearly. In this one, Goofy gets himself a spy kit which he will use to infiltrate his neighbor's place, believing they're spying on him. The majority of this cartoon was okay, as mentioned earlier. But then there's a moment that's supposed to be a nice surprise, but was just as creepy as what Goofy thought the situation was. So he broke into his neighbor's house and found they have a shrine dedicated to him, and that his neighbor Clarabelle had set this thing up as part of a program to get herself a boyfriend. That's stupid and creepy. No thanks. Donald's Goofy World, 2001. One day while going out to get the paper, Donald ends up ripping off a doorknob. He then calls for a repairman and Goofy comes over. After some chicanery with the door and an instance of Goofy annoying both his friends and yours truly, Donald sends him off his property crying by telling him to go away. Then when Donald is knocked unconscious, he begins to see Goofy everywhere. That joke throughout that one sequence isn't funny and it goes on for too long. And during that whole thing, I picked up that I'm supposed to feel sorry for Goofy and look at Donald like he's a jackass for telling him to get lost. But I'm not. This instance of Goofy's stupidity is one that irritates both his friends and I. And Donald was right to react the way he did. But of course, because of the trauma-induced dream, Donald went against his better judgment and let Goofy fix his doorknob. And of course, Goofy ends up locking him out of his own house. Daisy's Big Sale, 2001. Minnie gets a call from Daisy who says she needs her help with something. When she gets to her place, in her bathrobe and shower cap and losing her car on the trip there, she learns that Daisy wants Minnie to help her sell hair bows. Minnie does say no at first, citing helping Daisy leads to bad things. In her attempt to convince Minnie to help her, Daisy ends up calling her stupid enough to lend her a hand. So against Minnie's better judgment, she is one of the smarter characters in this period, she agrees to help with her sales pitch. And after witnessing Daisy blatantly read from her sales book in front of everyone and make her demonstrate the various products, whenever Minnie wants to quit on her, Daisy would put on her petty act that got her to agree to it in the first place to keep her around. The other time I saw an episode do this was The Loud House in Season 4, with Lynn of all people being the focus. Their handling of this trope wasn't better either. What's bad about this instance is that the sucker was Minnie, and she had been shown to be pretty smart, so to see her fall for Daisy's ploys of pity hurts more. Double Date Dawn, 2001. It's Valentine's Day, and Donald comes over to Daisy's house to present his services for the day as his gift to her, thinking they'll chill in a hot tub. She decides to put him to work on a brick wall around her property instead. As he's doing that, her neighbor, Clara Cluck, gets the idea to make passes and soon pursues Donald, much to his horror and mine. Here is a list of things Clara does to him. Attempts to give him kisses he doesn't want, presents herself, tries kissing him again when he has his feet stuck in a cement bucket, ties a rope attached to a block of bricks around her foot, push it off a dock and into the water, making Donald save her. He does, but only because she was attached to the bricks he needed for the fence. That moment was funny though, chasing him around Daisy's property and tricking an emotionally worn down Donald into marriage. Now, does all of that sound like it'll be funny? Well, it isn't, and Donald agrees. But his girl Daisy doesn't see it that way, instead interpreting these scenes not as her neighbor forcing herself onto her boyfriend, but as her boyfriend cheating on her with Clara. And Clara doesn't pick up that Donald is her neighbor's boyfriend, or that she's causing him great pain with this pursuit. All of this makes this cartoon hard to watch. As stated in the previous video looking at a good chunk of these cartoons, they're based on the style of the ones Disney made during the Golden Age, and something like this is a feature in some of those. To borrow a point my friend Josh made in our Animaniacs review, if you're watching this, I hope you don't mind, the cartoons in the Golden Age like Popeye, Betty Boop, Tex Avery's MGM work, and some Looney Tunes shorts were aimed at an adult movie-going audience, and the humor reflected that. It got awkward with characters like Minerva Mink and Hello Nurse because Animaniacs was targeted towards children. The element at play here is context, in how the content is handled, and the demo the show is appealing to. Sexual assault and harassment played for laughs at an innocent victim's expense? That's bad. One more thing to say about this before I move on. Hey, unfertilized yolk for brains. Take a hint and go to a mixer so you can meet someone who can handle all that white meat. Computer.Dawn, 2000. Donald is chilling at his house when he gets a call from Daisy who says she got her email set up and then asks for his. When she finds out he doesn't even have a proper computer, she says she'll leave him for someone who's in the 21st century, technologically speaking, if he doesn't get one. So he struggles to purchase and figure one out. What motivates Donald to get a computer is not only the idea of Daisy leaving him, why is it a bad thing though? And Goofy calling him a dweeb while delivering a massive block of ice for his fridge. He's the second person to call him that in this cartoon. Guess who the first was? Goofy is a moron who lives in a trailer and delivered the ice for his fridge, so he's not one to talk. So because of social pressure, he decides to get one. But when he goes to order one, even the company calls him a dweeb for owning a rotary phone. I take it they don't like money. After walking down to his local electronics store, soldering through the comically exaggerated setup, motivated by the fear of losing Daisy, and chase after an unflattering picture of himself, going through tons of trouble, how is Donald rewarded? By Daisy getting a hold of the picture and humiliating him by making a website for it that 1 million people visited. And she gives him a kiss after she shows it to him. As horrible as Double Date Dawn was, It at least had Daisy finishing the brick wall around her property and tending to her boyfriend's wants. Here, it's just a kiss.
Look at you! What a dweeb! But you're my dweeb.
Yeah, you're not done here, Toots. And neither am I. If you guys made it this far into the video, give it a like so it can be pushed to more people. Now let's get into what I consider the worst Mickey Mouse cartoon of this period. Mickey's Mix-Up, 2000. Now, of all the cartoons in this 4-year period, what could be worse than sexual assault, peer pressure, and humiliation? Well, what about a cartoon where all the story choices make no sense and not in a funny way? Allow me to guide you through this headache. Mickey bought a new fax machine so he can send messages to Minnie. After an encounter with Mortimer Mouse, he sends him an angry message before tending to Minnie's. When Mortimer came over to act sweet to Mickey, getting the message meant for Minnie, having realized this, he seeks to get the hateful one back before she reads it. For those who don't know what it is, a fax machine is what you use to make calls and send physical messages to someone. It's a piece of technology that was becoming obsolete by the turn of the century with the introduction of email, cell phones, and with stronger internet signals, social media. Now they are only used in places like offices in Japan and Korea. Now, in order to send physical messages with a fax, you need to enter a specific order of numbers, much like a regular phone number, which brings up a couple of questions. Why would Mickey have Mortimer's fax number if he hates his guts? And how do you mix up two sets of numbers? It seemed like Mickey was focused on making his hatred for Mortimer known. And when Mickey goes over to Minnie's house, she sees the message like it actually looks like she's reading it, but she puts it in her purse. This message will be revealed to be from Daisy, warning her about robbers out and about. So Minnie seeing the note before that moment makes no sense. Before that happens, when Mickey goes to the salon, there was something else that felt off. I could believe it was a slow day, but no staff to notice him sneaking around to steal back the message or security cameras for when the police show up to make me think they're going to take Mickey away, but they're actually arresting Pete for when he has Minnie's purse? But that wasn't the first time the police were quick to arrest someone like in Big House Mickey. Outside of that pretty debatable stance, the other choices make Mickey's Mix-Up a nonsensical mess. I imagine this will be debatable with the few who care in the comments below, among others on this list. Now, what do you folks consider to be the worst cartoon of this era? Also, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to stay updated on future videos, be sure to follow me on Getter, Facebook, Tumblr, and DeviantArt. The links are in the description, and if you want to be the first to know when a new video will be up, ring that bell after you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.